So Spider-Man Homecoming has so far been a huge financial hit, and, to my own surprise at least, was actually a really fun movie. And now that there's a sequel coming in 2019, with the director and a lot of the cast returning, I thought, why not talk about what I want to see next? Also, spoilers ahead for Homecoming. You've been warned. Homecoming had one of the best MCU villains we've seen to date, with Michael Keaton as the Vulture. And it was also refreshing to see a villain who we haven't ever seen on film before. And with the sequel, let's continue that trend. Let's wait a while until we see another Green Goblin, or Sandman, or Doc Ock, or whatever. Let's keep looking at these new, smaller characters. I liked how the first film had Vulture and the Shocker and the Tinkerer, not necessarily as well-known villains. So you can do that again. Have smaller supporting characters be relatively kind of obscure characters from the comics. At the end of the film, I guess it was teased that the Scorpion will be the next villain. That'd be cool, plus he'll be played by the guy from Better Call Saul, who could be very intimidating. Another choice I'd throw out there would be Kraven the Hunter, just because he's so different from all the other villains we've seen Spider-Man fight. I think that'd be a good way to keep this fresh. Also, I said this before, and I didn't hate it in Homecoming, but seriously, can we please get a villain who doesn't have some weird coincidental personal connection to Peter Parker, and who's just some prick who needs to be stopped? One of my favorite aspects of Spider-Man Homecoming was the fact that, compared to the rest of the Marvel Universe, the whole main conflict was kinda small scale. I mean, it essentially boiled down to Spider-Man has to stop this guy, who maybe isn't even that terrible of a guy, from selling weapons to people. It wasn't, oh god, if the Vulture gets away, the whole world will be sucked into a wormhole and everyone will die. And by making it smaller, it actually made the movie more tense. Sure, it's not insanely tense, like, I know Spider-Man isn't gonna die, but it made it feel much more personal. With a film like Age of Ultron, where it's like, everything's gonna be destroyed again if we don't stop this. Besides maybe a little bit with Hawkeye, I don't know, I didn't really feel much of anything during that final battle. I thought, oh, that's a cool move, oh, that looks awesome, but that was about it. So with this sequel, raise the stakes, but still keep it kinda down to earth. You can have the threat be a bit worse, like this time he might actually murder some people close to Peter or something like that, but still, don't have an end of the world situation. That works sometimes, but again, if it's always a the world's gonna get destroyed situation, those situations kinda lose their tension. Winter Soldier's another good example of keeping stuff smaller and making it more exciting. And another point that's somewhat related to this, another thing that I loved in Homecoming was how much more it focused on the personal Peter Parker high school troubles than I was expecting it to. That made it feel so much more real and relatable, that in addition to stopping this big bad guy plot, he also has to deal with classes and prom, or I guess it's called Homecoming there. It made me feel way more connected to this version of the character. So with the sequel, show more of that. I don't know if he's still going to be in high school, or if he's in college at this point, but regardless of where he is, don't lose sight of the fact that it's Peter Parker who's the main character, not Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just a suit. That was kind of the whole theme of the first film. Tony Stark played a good role in Homecoming. He was in it exactly as much as he needed to be, he pushed the story in the direction it needed to go, and he didn't steal any screen time. With the follow-up though, let's get a different MCU character in there, because I feel like Spider-Man's arc with Iron Man was kind of finished by the end of that film. Of course they're going to interact more, but I feel like there wouldn't be as much interesting conflict or back and forth now that we've kind of seen that dynamic. So as far as who else they could get, I don't know, I think it'd be interesting to see Spider-Man play off a number of these characters. He could team up with Black Widow or Hawkeye, maybe Ant-Man, but I think something that could be cool, and this is assuming he survives past Infinity War, is Captain America, since Spidey obviously grew up seeing Cap in this very specific, goofy Boy Scout way, and having him then fight side by side with that Winter Soldier style action, and teaching him lessons along the way and all that, I think that could be fun. Now as far as if they should put Miles Morales in this film, who was briefly mentioned by Donald Glover, I don't think so. Not yet. Because they didn't mention specifically how old Miles is yet in this universe. So I think they should save that character for when Tom Holland becomes too old to be Spider-Man. He can still be Peter Parker, of course, but maybe he wants to hang up the mantle for a bit, or something like that, and then we could have Miles Morales come in to take over. I just don't think they should throw it in just yet, and potentially overcrowd the film. Something that happens a lot in this first MCU Spider-Man film is that Peter makes quite a few mistakes. Like, he kind of messes up a majority of the things in the film. And that, A, led to a lot of great comedy, and B, also made Peter that much more relatable and likable, since this is his first year as proper Spider-Maning with the new suit and everything. But in the sequel, it needs to be a natural progression of the character. So now, don't get me wrong, he's not perfect by any stretch, but show that he's learned some stuff, and that he's somewhat better at the job, and that he doesn't make the same mistakes again. He can screw up in new ways and learn new, tougher lessons. But if he's still just as unprepared and reckless, that's gonna annoy me a bit. So those were my wishes for the next Spider-Man film. What do you want to see? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.